Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn about form group in reactive form in Angular. Please watch my previous video regarding the form control. If you understand form control, it will be very easy to understand form groups. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. So let's understand what is a form group. A form group is a collection of form controls, another form group, or form arrays. So we will be going into the form arrays and the nested form groups. For now, we know about the form controls, hence we can consider a form group is a collection of form controls. So how to create the form group and what is the purpose of form group? Before going to the purpose of a form group, whenever we are having an input field, we will be creating a different types of form controls in our TS. That means we don't have any grouped set of form elements. To make a group of form elements, we will be going with form group. For example, previously we have used something like input field and some placeholder like username, and also here we use it to give something form control equal to, we use it to give some email which is defined in our TS like email is equal to new form control of, which is an empty one. And let me import this from the reactive forms, and also let me give the type for this. So in this way we use it to define our form controls for a particular element. Here I have one more element, for example. So I have password, then I need to create one more password form control in our TS like password colon form control equal to new form control of empty. But as per our assumption, these two belongs to a single form. That means these two elements comes under a single form. So in this case, we are separating each and every form control, and whenever we are validating the whole form, we cannot validate whole form at a time. Instead, we have to validate individually. For example, let me use a button with type as button, and let me use a click event equal to, I want to pass some data. So for example, login and login. So here in this case, I am using a login method which need to be defined in my TypeScript. So let me define this login method, and here let me use console.log of email. If I want to get email, then I need to use this dot email dot value. And also if I want to have password, then I need to use this dot password dot value. And whenever I want to pass these values to the backend in a object format or a payload format, then I need to frame that payload equal to email colon this dot email dot value comma password colon this dot password dot value. So in this way we will be framing the payload or the request payload, and we will be sending this to the backend. And also before sending the request, we need to validate whether this particular email is entered or not and it is valid or not. So for that sake we will be using email dot valid, and whenever the email is valid and this dot password dot valid, then only we will be framing this payload, and then we will be sending the content. And we will be using some validator, something like validators dot required, and here also let me use something like validator dot required. So in this case what we are doing is we are checking individually, we are framing our object externally. So these are all problems can be solved by single class called as form group. So whenever we are using a form group, we can group a set of elements together and can pass the data at a time to the backend, and also we can validate our elements. That means not only one element, we can validate whole set of elements inside the form at a time by using a valid or invalid property over that form group. So that is why we will be using a form group in our application. Let me show you this demo. Console.log of payload and save this. If you go here and let me go to the console, let me zoom this console, and now let me enter some value, username or email sai@gmail.com, and password something. and click on login. If you see here, we got Sai. This is our email which we have entered here, and this is a password, and this is the one which we have framed. But here the problem is, whenever I don't enter this, click on login, we are not getting any value, and we are at this particular value is printed. That means empty. Password is empty, and whenever it is invalid, we are not entering into this payload. Now we have only two elements, but think about if a form is having a set of elements and a lot of looping content inside it, how we will be handling. It is very hard to handle that by using a form control, because we have to check each and every element inside the form individually. And if I have 20 elements, then I have to check all the 20 properties whether they are valid or not. To solve this problem, we can solve very easily by using form groups. We'll see how this problem will be solved in our next video. If you like my explanation, please like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.